Three, two.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of the 2025 season on the IATC Exchange Zone podcast, week number 12. Ben Dewey here in the studio in West Des Moines, also in the studio tonight for the first time in a few weeks.
I'm back.
Kyle Wagner, welcome back.
And are you guys all? Everyone that came messed with all my stuff. Like everything was out of sorts. So I can't leave for that long again.
We
But,
held some interviews while you were gone, secretly.
I don't know where the people parked last week with that many people out here.
Those kids were coming for your job.
I know it.
I'm really
It feels like the first episode, but it's the last.
It is the last, and it has gone by so fast. I can't even believe we're sitting here. It just seems like a few weeks ago that we were both dripping in beads of sweat. Brock's running around trying to get things launched on that first episode. We didn't know if we'd take off, but we did, and it's been a whole lot of fun along the way, and so many great memories from this season across the state. And it's just been a lot of fun to follow it and to cover it, hear all those amazing stories, and definitely a season to remember.
Without question. Even personally coaching my own team and all that, and doing this is the best time of the year. I always look forward to it. It always stinks to see it end. But it will be nice to have a little break, shut off our brains. Well, you got basketball tomorrow morning.
5:45 a.m.
Man.
Assistant girls basketball. Be a lot of fun. So, well, tonight we've got a jammed pack menu for you on our final episode, and that starts with our season recap, which we'll just kind of glaze through some things throughout the year that we highlighted. The Conway family, and when we mean family, we are going to be represented by not one, not two, but 4 Conways tonight up in South Winneshiek County, way up there in your neck of the woods.
It's way up there.
And we're really looking forward to having them join us virtually. Then, of course, we will have our way too early rankings for 26, which is ultimately what the majority of this episode is about. And then we'll take a look at what's next in the coming months. And of course, tonight's schedule is brought to you by ST1 Sports. You've heard us all year long. This is your new place to get all your track and field cross-country equipment, coaches. They're also big into apparel, and they are a new company taking over for B&W Enterprises out of Minnesota, Bruce Whiting. So check them out, Matt at st1sports.com. And it's time for the interactive chat.
Interactive chat. The question tonight is, do you think that coaches should be allowed to coach at the Nike NXR meets? And I think everyone's going to say yes, or many people will. I think the hard part is the different rules between different states. We talked before the show, if you're a 7th, 8th grader in Minnesota, South Dakota, technically that's high school and you can run at NXR, but in Iowa, you can't. So, and then in other states, you might be able, because I was reading it, if you have the safe sport credentials, all those things, yes, you can go coach. But my understanding was Iowa coaches cannot travel with their team, transport their team, and coach their team. But I don't get it. I don't understand all the rules. I didn't make it up last year. Obviously, this year with a 3-week-old child did not make it up. So there's probably way more people knowledgeable on the subject. But I think just having the option to be able to want to transport your team, coach your team, especially if you can qualify for NXN, if you're a Gilbert, a Pella, an Indianola, and have a great shot at qualifying, I definitely think you should be able to.
So I think the clarification on the rule is that you can go as a coach. You can be present. You are just not allowed to coach, is I think the official ruling. I'm not sure how delicate it gets with travel parties and hotels and all that stuff. I guess I could have asked before I came. But obviously there are rules that have to be followed. And I would assume our Iowa coaches follow those rules. But it is unique because in track and field, the national meet is in the summer. because it's in June. So legally, coaches are allowed to travel coach because anyone can have contact in the summer. In cross country, obviously, as soon as the state meet is done, the season is over. And once your season window is over, you have no contact outside of the season or coaching contact. So it is different than track and field. Um, I don't know. I kind of I don't personally. You know, I just am not the biggest fan of the NXR. You know, I just the highest stage is the state meet, in my opinion. Now we do have some athletes here that did move on, and we'll talk about that tonight to the national meet. I think that's, you know, 2 to 3 maybe a year, or 2 to 3 every other year. Maybe one team every 5 years makes it. I don't know what that is. I just don't want this to turn into being everyone's, like, goal is to get to NXR, and everyone's, you know, highest point of the year is going to Sioux Falls. Everyone's highest point, in my opinion, should be at Fort Dodge or the state qualifying meet to get your team to Fort Dodge. And I see a lot of teams just going up there kind of recreationally, and I hope that's not their highest point. I think that's fine to go have fun. I just don't want this to turn into being the highest point of the season.
Right. And especially this year when you got 7 inches of snow on the ground up there.
I don't think I would have want to been there.
I think it would have been fun, you know,
Yeah.
like, especially that you talked about. If your peak was last week and you're just going with your teammates, kind of like a GRIAC trip, but, you know, GRIAC, there's teams are obviously focused on doing well.
Mhm.
Obviously, they want to do well here too, but, you know, to me, it's about being with your teammates. And, you know, I used to be like, I want a flat, fast course. I want to run fast times. And I've kind of gotten away from that a little bit. And to me, that's what cross country is about, you know, like, okay, 7 inches of snow is a little bit different, but you can see the teams, how they raced last week at Fort Dodge, and a lot of different results of individuals beating individuals, team beating teams up there. And it was just a completely different race environment than it was in Fort Dodge. So,
Yeah.
you know, and there was 6 open heats. There's 2,700 boys in just the open heats, not counting the
Incredible.
championship races. And then there's obviously equal amount of heats on the girls' side. Just a insane number of people. So I don't, you know, and it's obviously a moneymaker too, especially for city of Sioux Falls. You got to get your hotels early, but I don't know. Looked like a cool experience for those that went. Cool. That's I don't know what the English term is. Very cool up there.
Yes, it was. And congratulations to those kids that did compete. And I don't want people to think that I'm a Debbie Downer or anything. I just, you know, unless you're a Kanan Dunham and you're going there to advance to Nike national meet or have a legitimate shot, Quentin Nauman, excuse me, it's taken us all year to get that right. I'm just a little bit in the weeds on that. So that's just where I stand. But let's move on, and we'll cover that meet a little bit after the interview. So, want to do some thank yous here real quickly, and we'll start off with the timing companies. We like to thank them every year, and another year in which the timing companies have just gotten better and better. Uh, you know, the way that they're getting these meet results in as fast as they can is just light years different than even 5 years ago. But I want to shout out to some of these companies, Cal Murdoch, who we had on our show to start the year, and his group here in Des Moines, AA Timing, Wyzetta Results. You've got Heroes Timing, BNW's Racing Results, Shannon Event Timing Services, Dakota Timing. Out of the Dakotas, come down, do a lot of those Northwest Iowa meets. Cowder Timing, Black Squirrel Timing, AccuRace Timing. I'm sure we've left some out there, we forgot some, but just a really good job by our timers, and they just do a phenomenal job of timing these races. And, you know, I just think it's gotten so much better.
I 100%. You know, I used to have to wait till the newspaper the next morning to look at results or wait for them to get uploaded to Quick Stats. So, where we've come, you know, it's insane. And so, yes, thank you to all the timers. I know a lot of them time track too. I know Brett with AA Timing is looking for timers for the spring. So if you're looking to make some extra cash, it's really good money. It's not that difficult as long as the technology works. So reach out to me or Brett Carney, AA Timing, if you're looking for some extra cash for the spring.
The IATC would not be able to run their results portion of the website, which I would guess 80 to upwards of 100% of the people probably at some point are looking at the results page on the IATC's brand new website at iatrackcoaches.org. And that is not done without Greg Blank. And Greg Blank is our results coordinator for the IATC cross country season. And every night he gets the results, whether he finds them himself or he's been doing it so long that meet directors and ADs just know to send him the results at his email, and he gets them posted typically before midnight. And he's, scouring the website, looking all over the state for those results. So, Greg, if you're watching, we thank you so much for your hard work throughout the season. I want to thank our rankings committee. Another great season for our committee of ranking officials. They did just a phenomenal job. We talk about it all the time. It's a hard job to rank in cross country, especially when you get down to the small classes. But you've seen over the last few years just the continued progress that our committee and their chair people make in ranking these teams. And I think it was another great year.
Absolutely. Again, just like we talked about with the timing, I think it gets better and better every year. And I think a lot of that is because how quickly we can see the results. If it's crosscountryratings.com, which I know you'll get to, or the IATC website, and be able to quickly see if teams were missing people or not, not full strength and things like that. So you are 100% right on that.
And so just so you know how this process works real quickly, we have 8 chairmen, and they all represent a class and gender. So in 4A, Mike Parker, Iowa City West, which, by the way, what a award for him at the state meet, the Golden Plaque of Distinction from the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. It was really a incredible presentation that day before the 4A Girls Awards were announced. And if you haven't seen it, you can check it out on social media. But a very, very good presentation for Coach Parker. Maybe he's definitely one of the top cross-country coaches ever in the state of Iowa. And I always forget he had the first team to place 5 in the top 10, and the only team still to place 5 in the top 10. That was in a 4A meet for Iowa City West. So pretty big time accomplishments for Coach Parker. But he's the chair of the girls 4A ranking. The boys is Matt Joshin of Johnston. On the 3A level, you've got Mitch Anderson of Mount Pleasant. I'm thinking of these on the fly here. Nate Hopp, who is now at Cedar Rapids, Washington, but was at Cedar Rapids Xavier. 2A boys. 2A, you got Kyle Zankowski of Spirit Lake and Mike Bukite of Pella Christian. And then in 1A, you've got Steve Riley of Columbus and Lucas Gorley of Danville. I think I got them all.
All right.
And remember, they have 8 people underneath them that help them. It's not just one person. So thank you to all those committee members. CrossCountryRatings.com. And James, another great year for that website. And I think when that came out a couple years ago, people were a little bit iffy about it. Should we count it? Should we trust it? I mean, what a powerful tool. I don't care what your thoughts are. I mean, the stuff that you can get off of that as a coach, let alone a spectator or a parent or a fan or an athlete, it's incredible.
100%. And like Greg, James has to take all those results, input them into some fancy database and get them on the website. And if you run under Ben one meet and then Benjamin the next, he's got to go find all those, condense your name all back to Ben, just so the team rankings are accurate so you don't get counted as number 1 superstar twice. So thank you, James.
Yeah.
It's a huge time saver for our own research, coaching, and then podcast as well.
Yeah. And, the IATC is proud to partner with CrossCountryRatings.com. And we started that partnership a couple years ago, and we're looking forward to continuing that on in the future. Email contributors, those that help us every week by sending us information on your meet, your athletes, your region, newspaper, members that we had contribute this year as well, from some of the smaller towns. We can't thank you enough. Really appreciate all of your contributions and hard work, and sharing some of those great stories that we were able to cast out across the state and the region was really helpful, and we hope to continue that in the future as well. Athletes and coaches, thank you as well for your attentiveness to the podcast and watching it, and also correcting names and some misinformation, because we don't bat 100 every week here on this show. In fact, we bat way less than that, and you help us fix those small mistakes, and we really appreciate that. Got anything to
Nope.
add?
You get way more emails than I do.
And then lastly, we want to thank our listeners and our viewers for your continued support of the show, and tuning in every week and making it a part of your weekly routine. And that was our goal when we started this live show last year on Sunday nights, is making it a part of a Sunday night tradition for you and your family. On the screen here, I just want to, can you go back one more, Brock? So this was the first episode of the podcast. Kyle, you've been in the office of names.
Dungeon.
The dungeon underneath the ground of Ames, the old high school. This is where the show started. Coincidentally, with the founder of the IATC in 1969, who's now passed away, Coach Bill Bergen, was our first guest on the show, and this was in our office in the basement. And just wanted to show how we transitioned here. Oh man,
That was a rough night.
That was a rough night for us. So let me explain this here real quickly. We're now sitting in this, we'll call it bougie.
Yeah.
We'll sit in this bougie studio. When we left Ames, because I went to Waukee Northwest, we had to find a new place for the podcast. Well, COVID was going on, so we didn't even know if we could be inside together. So we're like, all right, we'll just set it up in my garage that I now live at in Urbandale. And it was great for 10 weeks. And then all of a sudden, when the weather snapped and it's 20 degrees out, well, the garage was freezing. I got a bloody nose this night. Kyle didn't even come down. I think you were just done, because I took that picture and sent it to you.
Yeah. I think we went virtual that night.
You're just like, I'm not going to. It was so cold in the garage, but that was one. Okay, then the next picture. Then we got a little bit nicer. We set up a table in my basement, and this is where we were last year, in our basement, our first live outing. And then here we are now. So we just wanted to thank you, because you guys are the ones that have helped us grow. We couldn't continue to progress to this really nice studio without growing the following and having the IATC, which is our last thank you, for believing in us and financially providing whatever we need for this podcast and for our live production, and to allow us to bring someone like Brock in to be the producer. So we thank you for that. And this is my last year as president, by the way, of the IATC. So next year, I don't know, we'll have to interview for this podcast deal.
Nah,
Kind of
you're
started it. So, but this is my last year. I'll be done in June.
Rolling off.
Yeah. Will they take the keys from me?
I hope not, because I don't have one.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out when we get there. But anyways, that's our thank yous. We're ready to move on as we go through this final episode. And with all of those thank yous, we have a big announcement to make. Should have got a drum roll. Here we go. Big announcement. So, coming in the spring of 2026, the Exchange Zone Track and Field Edition.
Ooh. Spring Track Podcast.
Spring Track and Field Podcast 2026.
All right.
So Kyle and I have been working on this for a while, and I think we're going to be in a position to pull this off. Now, will it look the same? Probably not. It's going to be at a lesser scale as far as number of episodes. The nice production will continue, but I think it'll probably be half the episodes, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So about 6 or 7.
Probably something around the indoor championships.
Yep.
Something around Drake State, and then one other one sprinkled in there.
Yep.
We'll need help for sure.
Yep.
Especially with, cross country, it's 5K. With track, you have jumps, throws, hurdles, you name it. So we'll need help from listeners sending in information, and potentially even people coming in the studio to be on the podcast. So if you want to try your luck at it and you think you'd be a solid contributor, obviously you're very busy with being the head coach of a track team, so I'll be coaching Bondurant Farrar. Can't forget about that track this year as well. And just boys distance, like already in my head with lineups and things. I can't even imagine a head coach and doing this. So we will definitely need help from people to get this thing going. But I have a very strong feeling it's going to happen and it's going to go great.
Yeah. There we go. Awesome. Love it. Track and field at its finest. Good to see you, Bama.
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 Nice.
Yeah, Schmally. Schmally was our first producer in the,
Oh, gosh.
in the basement of Ames. That away, Bama. Hope you're doing well. This show needs to see Bama live sometime.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, he needs to get here live. And there he is. February 23rd. Can't get here soon enough. All right. Okay. Last announcement, then we'll bring in the Conways. It is fall meeting time. And I tell you what, we got to get a record for number of attendance this year. And I just am so passionate about, if you're a head coach, even if you're an assistant coach, get involved with your coaches association. It's in my opinion, other than coaching your kids, it's got to be 1A or 1B in the level of importance. If you want to advance the sport, if you want to grow the sport, if you want to continue to progress us forward, you got to get involved with your coach association.
Yep. And there's important voting and, conversations. Like, it's good because we get the association reps, the union reps all in the same room, and you can ask questions and they're not afraid to answer. And especially, and I get it, Joaquin might be a bit of a drive for some. Weather looks great this weekend. Make a family trip out of it. Get your kids to the zoo, the science center.
Come on down to Des Moines.
That's right.
Go shopping at the mall and come and get some pancheros for lunch.
Ooh, all right. Back-to-back years. We'll take it.
Yep.
So yes, I look forward to seeing people from all over.
For the number of texts/emails I got over the last 24 hours about if the junior college meet can live stream a meet at the same state meet course, then we should be able to do it too. Well, hey, I think there'll be some exciting announcements at this meeting, possibly about that.
Ooh, there's a tease.
Or at least some brainstorming. So come on down. Let's get it figured out, and we're going to have a good meeting. It doesn't take that long. It's not like the old days where it's 5 hours and you get home super late. We'll be done by 1, if not earlier. So there we go. All right. We are really, really excited to bring you our guest tonight on the Exchange Zone. What's the town of South Winneshiek?
Kalmar, Auction,
Kalmar.
Fort Atkinson.
So we're going to say, we'll ask them what town they're currently in, but we're going to say from Winneshiek County. Is that safe to say?
I think so, yes.
Okay. So joining us all the way from Winneshiek County is the Conway family. Welcome, Conways. How are you tonight?
Doing good.
Yep, doing good.
Yep. Explain the camera setup here. Are you guys all in the same room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You got the first two.
We can fit on the computer. That's the deal.
I see the hand.
There's the hand. All right.
At least it matches up, so he's reaching the.
So I'll introduce him, and then Kyle's got the first couple questions. But we've got, from left to right, we've got Addy Conway. We've got former head coach co-head coach Scott Conway. We've got the 1A state champion Hugh Conway, and we've got head coach Todd Conway of South Winneshiek. Kyle, we're ready for some questions.
Awesome. So yes, like Ben said, welcome. It's great to have you all. And this is cross country. To me, it's a family sport. Looking at at NXR, seeing all the families that go up state meet. And I was talking with Coach Conway throughout the week and just all his connections across the state. Like, it's just unreal how well connected, this family is to the sport of cross country. So we'll start with you, Scott. Take us through. You've been at Southwind for a long, long time. Tell us about your career at Southwind and the successes that you've had, and why. Obviously, you retired from teaching, have to take that short little break, but still wanted to stick around. Why? What makes you want to stick around this sport so much?
I think there's a couple of things. I started my coaching career in Bettendorf. So I started coaching in 1994, and I really didn't know exactly what I was doing. And so as I've kind of progressed, I've always wanted to make sure that I left the program in a good spot and good hands, and not throw people to the wolves and try and figure it out for themselves. And so in 2002, 2003, I was able to move back in the area. I grew up and went to Postville, and started coaching with one of my college roommates and teammates, Kevin Carney. And, little by little, we kind of got some things figured out.
I would say so. You guys were always the thorn in our side with the Upper Iowa Conference, and I'm sure you and Coach Bowder have many conversations and know each other pretty well. But just an awesome conference up there with the Upper Iowa Conference. And looking at results this year, I'm like, wait a minute, how are all these teams in it? Where'd these teams go? And it's just crazy how the sport has changed. And I know you handed the program over to Todd. I don't know if I would trust handing over an old pair of sneakers to my brother. But talk about that transition and what it's been like, working alongside each other with this team this year.
Are you shooting that towards me or Todd?
We'll start with you first.
No, it's been a really easy transition, I think. Our former junior high coach also moved up to be co-head coaches. And so, it was one of those things where she had been around the program. Obviously, Todd's kids were part of the program. And so he kind of knew what it was all about. And so I thought it was a pretty easy transition.
And Todd, anything to add to that?
Well, like, I've known Scott my whole life, and then Carney for 30 plus years. So I know how they think and listen to them talk about cross country for 30 some years now. So yeah, I thought it was pretty easy too. Yes.
I'll go one more and fire to you. And Coach Conway, we talked a little bit beforehand about the summer road races that we used to go to, and I think I'd show up and be able to beat everybody. And out walks Coach Conway from his vehicle in his 40s, still running in the low 16s for 5K, and just absolutely dusting me at the Big 4 5K or the Garnavillo Firecracker 5K. But how have you maintained the longevity of your own running in this sport, for yourself?
It kind of helps when you show up and are able to practice with the kids and run with the kids. That's been the key to my longevity, is just continuing to do practices. Obviously, I'm no longer running with my nephew. I may do a little bit more with my niece, but still being able to run with the kids and interact, and that's gone a long ways to keeping me going.
Awesome. So we've got two athletes that leave Fort Dodge with state titles. Let's start with the girls' team race first. So we're going to start with Addy. Coming into this meet here on the podcast, we felt like this was one of those classes that was very up in the air. We did not have a clear favorite going in. Obviously, Southwind is in the mix there. Sumner, Fred, and Hudson came down from 2A. You have Madrid, who's always going to be in the mix here out of Central Iowa. What was your guys' game plan coming down to Fort Dodge? Not really as an overwhelming favorite, but as one of the 4 or 5 teams that could walk away with that first place trophy.
I think our plan was definitely just try and put it all out there. All of us were kind of struggling going into the week. Like, we were all sick, we were all injured. And like, our coaches always told us our main thing is to like stay in one pack. So I think as long as you're with your pack and you cross the finish line together, that was basically our goal. And obviously we all kind of we went in ranked first. So we were all like, we kind of want to prove to our school that we can do this.
Let's reference that pack. Did we get that picture sent? Brock, did you get that picture? So Kyle sent me this on Sunday, and I don't want you guys to have to give away your secret recipe here, but this is notorious for South Wind over the years running in this pack. And if you see at your score grid splits from this meet, South Wind at the mile mark was at 13th place in this meet as a team. So what, with 237 points, by the way, and you finished with 125. So I guess my question is to the athlete first, and then we'll get to Hugh, because I've got another question for Hugh. But Addy, how does this work? Like, how do you guys have the patience when you're at a mile into this thing and you're almost in last place? How do you guys, I mean, obviously you train, but how do you guys fight through this and know that you're going to be okay?
It's really a common thing for us even at small meets to start off the race kind of towards the end. And so I think throughout the season, we always our coaches tell us those girls are probably going to go out way too fast. And honestly, they're kind of dumb for that. So we all just know that there's girls ahead of us, and our goal is work your way through. And it doesn't matter where you start, it's kind of where you finish. And yeah, it's just really working your way through and being patient at the beginning instead of the end.
All right, Hugh, the man of the day, the 1A state champion to finish the whole meet. You guys were the last race there on Saturday. First off, you are extremely popular in the chat. You got a lot of fans on there. There it is right there. So anyways, Hugh, first off, congratulations on his incredible performance, winning that 1A state title. And just remember, Hugh's just a sophomore. So Hugh, coming into this meet, young pup in the race, sophomore, going against a lot of guys older than you. What was your mindset when you took the starting line? Did you feel like going into this thing, you had what it took to win the 1A state title?
Yeah, I definitely thought I could win. I knew I've raced against those Lake Mills boys other times that year, and I knew I could run with them, even though I placed behind them. But I knew I was capable of being up there with anyone else, and I just had to have the confidence and do my game plan.
And I think you were my preseason pick on the early cross-country episode for the individual race, and I went against you last week. Was that any fuel to the fire for you, or you're like, didn't even know?
Oh, yeah. That was definitely
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Thanks.
But no, that was awesome. And I didn't get up there Saturday, but I think I saw the reel from the association, and you don't know how many texts that I had. I go, did he win that in trainers? Did he run 1550 in trainers? And I'm like, they look like your everyday running shoe. So tell us, I think they were flats, but you like flats versus spikes?
Yeah, definitely. I don't like how small spikes are, and I don't like being so close to the ground. I like the cushion of flats, and I don't think I'll ever change it, even in track.
All right. No,
Nice.
But again, congratulations. That was an awesome race, and it was tough conditions up there. So 1550 is no joke of a time, even, and I think the Indianola folks let us know they thought it was 40 meters short or long off the wheel. So incredible performance for you. Throughout the season, and I think, I'll even admit it, doubted you a little bit going into the state meet. I don't think we necessarily had you back in that conversation after you did have an awesome track season. But tell us, about your progression throughout the season and what got you, at the end of the year, you thought you still knew you had a chance to compete for a state title.
Well, I mean, I just trusted my training with my coaches because I know they're very good. And I didn't really focus much on the rankings, as my coaches told me that they don't matter until the state meet. So I just went in with the confidence that I was going to win, and which really helped me.
He's lying. He looked at the rankings all the time.
I didn't listen to him, though.
Well, and
Right.
I would say it would have been after the Luther meet. Hugh did a long run and kind of overdid it a little bit. And so there was a couple weeks there where he was flat out told that if he couldn't hold himself back, I would tackle him off the course. So there was a couple weeks where he had to take it easier, just so he could get his body back.
All right. See, that's a nice uncle there looking out for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, the girls program, has really established itself as one of the premier programs in 1A, second state title since 2003, the fourth time. So 2 state titles. Southwind's been runner-up 4 times and third place once. What is your guys's, and this could be anyone's answer here in your house, what is your recipe for sustained success at Southwind on the girls' side as a team?
I think we've had a string of girls that have bought into the system, and being patient. We talk about, especially that first 600 to 800 meters is where I think a lot of kids get themselves into trouble. Addy, what'd you say? You looked at your watch and what were you guys going?
We were going 5:30 in the first 800 meters.
And so, having the presence then to look at their watch and say, whoa, we're going to get ourselves in trouble if we don't back off here. And then, kind of get clicking. So the fact that we've had girls that have bought into that and done that and trusted and been patient, I think that's been a huge key and factor in our success.
Can I ask you how many girls you have on your roster?
10.
10. See, and that's pretty good numbers. Look, I was looking at some of the Upper Iowa Conference. I think Turkey Valley had 4, Elkader had 5. Like, to do what you're doing with smaller roster numbers is and 10's still pretty good for 1A. So incredible work by all you, and I'm pretty sure we have all of Winneshiek County
That's awesome.
viewing tonight by the comments in the chat. So just again shows 1A knows how to do it. They know how to support their people, and I'm sure. Did you guys get lots of support when you got back to town? Was there a pep rally or a parade or?
I hear trucks.
Oh my goodness, fire trucks.
That's awesome.
Whole town.
Okay, hey, what town are you guys in? We did wonder that.
We're in Austin right now.
But the high school's in Calmer.
Okay. Hey, so you guys are getting ready for basketball. Hugh says he plays anywhere between the point and the center on the basketball team. So I'd like to see that in action, actually. You like to get on the block and back some people down?
Sure.
Not many cross-country state champions can say they can do that. So, but Hugh's getting ready for basketball. Addy's got basketball as well. And then they'll go track. And Addy finishes up high school, her career with softball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Well, hey, Conways, we're really happy to share your story here on the Exchange Zone. Brother and sister state champions on the same day for South Winneshiek, and coach, congratulations and best of luck to you guys in your future, and have a great off season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good night. All righty. Excellent interview. I'm so glad we were able to get them on the podcast. I had several emails saying, hey, you got to get on the Conway. What a story. Brother and sister, they won on the same day. Has it ever happened before? I'm not sure if it has. I got to think it maybe has at some point, but
I'm trying to think of any off the top of my head, but
the Dunhams almost probably did it with Ruth and Kanan, but I don't think. Well, did they both win as freshmen?
yes, when he won as
No, she wasn't in high school.
Oh, you're right.
She's
Yes,
not
never
a
mind.
senior. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the boys won when he was a freshman, but she was not yet in high school. That'd be interesting if we have any historians watching tonight, if you want to work on that as we go through the way too early rankings, if there's ever been a boy and girl on the same team, let us know. So, all right, Kyle, it is senior signings time, and I got it. I'm gonna get a little bit, get a little coach in me here. We didn't get a lot of people send them in last week.
You had to go find a bunch.
No, we probably are missing some.
Yep.
So it's okay. It's been a great year, and we're not gonna dwell on it. But we do have several that we know of. So if we forgot,
Not our fault.
Better luck next year because we're not doing it again.
No,
Maybe in track. We could do one in
there you
track.
go.
So we'll get you on in the track.
Because some people may not have decided yet. There's
That-
probably a lot of moving parts.
And that's exactly right. So, Kyle, are you doing the ones on the left side?
The script says right, but
Okay.
it does not matter.
So I'll go on the left, and here we go. Up at the top, Marissa Farabee. There's quite some logos on the screen here. Marissa Farabee heading to Arkansas, the Razorbacks. Quentin Nauman at University of Oregon. Jaden Merrick with a switch over to Iowa State University. We've touched on all three of them numerous times this year. McKenna Medetzky, I just noticed a recent commit to Missouri State, and that's a team that is going to continue to grow in competition level as they have left the Valley, I believe, because they're playing Division I football now, Group of 5 football. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to see what that does to their track and field program. Carson Oberrender of Martinsdale St. Mary's is heading over to Western Illinois. And you've got this name down, so I'm going to let you.
Well, I can't see
Zwee
the
Bomber?
I can't see the logo, but
I've got
yes.
the logo.
Okay, yeah. Claire Zwee Bomber is my
Nyack
okay.
in Mason City doing some good things there at North Iowa Community College.
There you go. Good list on the left. To the right we go. Lily Denton to the University of Texas. I guess
Burnt
you're
orange tonight.
big
Lily.
burnt orange for Lily tonight. I think we saw that after the state meet,
Yep.
and then her official commitment came later. Scarlett Burns. I think we've messed it up 18 times.
Yep.
Drake University, along with Chloe Glosser. That is two great 1A duet.
Oh, yeah.
1A, 2A combo there for recruits. I think a lot of upside for both of them. Morgan Back of Winterset off to Central College. And then Caleb Olson to the Storm of Simpson. There might be a Blue Jay joining you there.
Oh,
We'll see.
All right.
No official commitment yet, but I know high on his on one of the Blue Jays lists.
Yeah,
But
Caleb Olson of Benton Community heading down to Simpson. That's where I graduated from. So a lot of uncommit prospects yet. So don't feel like you have to rush, but this is what we know of. I'm sure we're missing several. Lily Denton, if she's listening, Austin, Texas is our favorite, my wife and I's favorite city. We go there every summer for a week. Kyle probably knew this. And I'm sure she's been there for her visit, but I can't imagine going to school there. It's just incredible. So have fun, but all of these have a great college experience. Best luck in track and field as well before you get to college. All right. Where are we at next?
to the wheel.
We're ready for the wheel.
I think so, unless you got
Hey.
more signings.
Uniform.
Oh, ADM.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Coach Chapman. ADM. I think I've had this in my backpack for 2 months.
Yep.
But went virtual for a while. So finally got it here. That is the
we go.
American flag rendition of their uniform. So an alternate one. I think they typically wear it when there's a meet on 9/11. But just an awesome uniform. You know, and when I think of that uniform, there's just it's more recent guys, but Nate Mueller, Cooper Greenslade, guys like that I remember wearing that uniform. But and going all the way back, Mason Frank is an alum that's had some great post high school success for ADM. So just a really cool uniform, and just the program that Coach Chapman has built.
Consistency.
Correct.
Indeed.
And depth, and we'll get to these rankings soon.
Take my head.
But how many guys that can run in the 17s, 1730s or under for that team is why they're just consistently reloading every single year. And full transparency, like that's what Bondurant Farrar, that's what we would aspire to be. And so to have that competition right next door all the time is awesome. But thank you, ADM, for that uniform for the final episode.
Yeah, really good program. They've been running some good track there too over the years, and they've got good things going on in ADL. You might have to give us a little
Oh, that's right.
little jiggle over there before we get to the wheel. Brock, are you ready for the wheel? All right, here we go. Way too early rankings for 2026. here on the Exchange Zone. This is our final segment of the show, and we'll spin it around. I like doing this because then people don't know when their class is going to
That's right. You're going first.
What do we got?
2A something, I think.
2A girls. Okay. I've got two. I've been a 2A, 4A specialist this year. So we're in the 2A girls, and here we go. We're going top 10, old school, just going 10. We've been 15, done 20, just going old school.
Yeah, it's better at 10 because I would go to 36.
No, you're
if
you're
we
1A.
did-
You're over 40 on 1A.
Yeah. Oops.
All right. So before we start these, I've got a few stats from last year.
I'm excited. You told me you prepped me on this, but I have no idea what the numbers are.
Yep. First off, last year at this time on this episode, we had Mid Prairie locked up with a lock symbol. So that is now a sign that we will never lock a year away from the season. I don't think he can.
I'm thinking of teams. I might lock tonight.
Well, I didn't have a graphic yet for you, but
That's fine.
okay. So-
Unofficial lock.
We struggled in 2A and 1A last year on the preseason rankings, which those are the hardest ones to figure out. Because like in 1A, you're going to talk about, we don't even know if some schools will have 5. However, in 2A, we had MP locked up. Then West Marshall was not ranked. They ended up being number 1 going into the state meet. We had Wakan at 9. They got second. And we didn't have Dyke New Hartford at all in the rankings. They ended up being in the top 10. So with that, that's about it for 2A. So here are the 2A girls. Way too early top 10. We'll start at 10, moving up. We got Jessup at 10. Tipton. Tipton's going to bring in the middle school state championship team with 2 instant impact athletes with Avery Monty and Tesla, like the car,
All right.
Eveland. So watch out for Tipton. Jessup at 10, by the way, will have their top 4 back from last year. At number 8 is Dyke New Hartford. And here's 2 freshmen we never mentioned all year. Olivia Potello and Lucy Epley for Dyke New Hartford. They fueled a top 10 finish this year out of nowhere for Dyke New Hartford, coming in unranked on the season. At number 7,
And
oh,
Marmac.
this is my I'm very excited about MFL of Marmac. Top 6 are back. They ran without, so did they make it to state? They did make it.
Yes.
They got last. All right. But what we didn't uncover until I did these research here for this, they ran without their number 1 runner from September 25th on. Did not have their number 1 runner, McKenna Kozelka. She will return along with the other 6 for a state qualifying team, MFL Marmac Dangerous at 7.
Do you know the abbreviation, what the MFL Marmac all stands for?
No,
None of them.
no. Marcus Marion Claiborne.
Not even close.
Okay. What is it? Do you know?
Monona, Farmersburg, Luena, Marquette, McGregor.
I feel like we're getting some good chats.
We
What
are.
do we got going on here? Oh, we got a North Lynn athlete.
They're 1A though, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Kevin Carney said he believes a brother and sister from Weston Wayne Valley both won individual title. Was that Anderson? Ben Anderson? Did he have a
No,
sister?
in 85?
No. Oh, 1985-ish. Not Ben. Ben Anderson was not.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
All
Whoa.
right, we're running on fumes here.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on. Number 6, you've got Unity Christian. They bring everyone back but Katie Young. And, man, their top 3 was really good
Mhm.
at the state meet. 5, Forest City. They'll return their top 5 with Klaus and Weaver and a couple of top 20 middle schoolers. This is a program in Forest City that seems to be building depth every year along the way with coach there. So that's going to be really good to watch in Forest City. West Marshall at 4, returning everyone but number 1 Thompson. Number 3 is Mid Prairie. Top 3 return, 5 of the top 7. We're assuming Landstrom, Stutzman, and Hostetler can get it back healthy. and Mid Prairie will be right in the mix again. Trainer at number 2. Will they stay in 2A? Will they go back to 1A? Coach was in here last week. She said they were right on the edge last year. So that'll be an interesting development. We obviously don't know what class these schools will be in, but they're going to return their Miller sisters, Kirkman. So 3 of their top 5 are back, and a pretty deep team after those. And my number 1 team, Kyle, is Wakan. Runner-up last year, they only lose number 3, very deep. Miriam Downing and Reagan Benzina will be the top 2 returners for Wakan.
Exciting class, and like you said,
Team to watch, Pella Christian.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Sumner Fred and Hudson were both have been 2A, 1A. We both have them very high on the 1A list, which we'll get to.
Yep.
They could be back up in 2A. So this will be a fun class next year.
All right. We're ready for the wheel. Well, it spins. It's last name Holmes from West Des Moines Valley, 1985.
That was about 8 years before we
3A
were alive,
boys.
So, all right. 3A boys. Let's go. Let's see.
I'm going to see if I can make this bigger.
I can.
Okay.
I'll do it on the next one.
All
I
right.
think I have it right. 3A boys. We'll start with the Blue Jays at number 10. We got some nice 8th graders coming in, and then we do lose our 4, 6, and 7 from this current year. Number 9, Central DeWitt. They were 5th at state this year. They lose their 2 and 6, but I think they're a team with very top loaded that they'll be just fine next year to get back to the state meet. 8, Davenport Assumption. We were behind them in line at the picture thing at the state meet, and I heard the photographer say, "Seniors, come sit down," and only one walked over. I was like, "Dang it!" Only one senior. John Murphy. So they were 9th at state this year. Murphy's a big loss for them, but they'll add in Calvin Kenyon and Carter Feehan. Both, well, I think they go. It's hard with Davenport when they have Central, East, West, and Assumption. I was just looking. It just said Davenport Flyers, I think, on the state middle school results. So I don't know if they get them or not. But I still think they'll be just fine whether they'll be a top 10 team whether they get them or not. 7, Des Moines Christian. Obviously, they lose Caleb Tenpass, but they have a very solid duo. 2 through 4 coming back. If they can find a few more guys, they'll be pretty darn good again. 6, Pella. They lose 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7, but this is like ADM, a team with a lot of depth. I don't think they necessarily bring any absolute ringers that I know of coming in. Kalen Brown is pretty good. 1203, I believe, from the middle school state meet. But there's, even if you lose your top 5, if it was a different school on this list, maybe besides Pella Gilbert, they're probably not in the top 15. But Pella, I think you got to put them in there. ADM, I got them at 5. They do lose 1, 3, and 7. This team is just so deep. Dane Holdmeyer will return from injury this year. They'll be in the mix for a top 5 finish once again after a 10th place finish this year. 4th, I might take some heat for this one. I might have this team too low with Gilbert. They do lose 3, 5, 6, and 7. So they'll still obviously have the top 2 returners at the state meet with Blake and Tallman. And they do add a couple sub 13-minute junior high guys. They have some pretty good depth up top. But I do think some of these teams return more than Gilbert does, even though Gilbert likely will go 1, 2 at the state meet individually. Number 3, Mount Vernon Lisbon. They lose 1, 2, and 7. They're bringing in a couple sub 13-minute guys. I think they have an insane amount of depth from their JV lineup. I don't know if they'll rely on any true freshmen next year. I think they'll utilize a lot of what they currently have to rebuild for a podium finish. Number 2, Decorah. They lose from the state meet. They're 1 and 4, I believe, is where I had that, but their 2 through 6 seem so interchangeable this year. Very solid team. They'll bring in Brecklin Dodd, who was 11:30 at the junior high state meet after a 6th place finish for the Decorah boys this year. And number 1, we were high on this team last year. Very young team last year that didn't lose anybody. This year, they don't lose anybody again. After a 7th place finish at the state meet, They'll also bring in Bodie Zabel, who's the Hawkeye 10 champ, and then Lincoln Hogstad. Again, they return their 7, so it's going to be tough for those two to crack the lineup. But I have Sioux Center as the top team in Class 3A to start 2026.
And Clear Creek Amana.
Clear
Is
Creek
your team
Amana
to
is my
watch?
team to watch, just outside that 11.
Carson Miskimig is, I think
Stud.
he's going to be a stud.
He was the top sophomore,
was-
freshman.
He was a sophomore.
Sophomore.
11th overall. And you're correct, the top sophomore in Class 3A. So
Yep.
keep an eye on Carson Miskimig. His dad was a really good athlete at West Des Moines Valley.
Mm.
Back in the day, track athlete, ran for my dad. So know that family, and I'm going to guess he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and they'll bring in some solid depth. They were 8th place at the junior high state meet. Asher Whitmer was the WAMAC champ. So Clear Creek Amana, do not be surprised if they are absolutely in the top 10, if not higher.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Good work, Kyle. And there was a comment. You can go to the next wheel there where there was a comment. Trainer returns 6 of 7 total. I said 3 of the top 5. So that is good to know. Sometimes the grades get a little bit sketchy on where we're looking, then crosscountryratings.com. So we appreciate this. Those corrections just are wonderful.
Yep.
All right. Back to me. 2A boys. Here we go.
I think we'll alternate
I
every
tell
other
you
time.
what, maybe this one is. I don't hold me against this one, folks. This is a complete wild card. Let's go back to. I didn't do 3A last year.
All right.
Sorry. Okay, let's do 3A boys last year. Where did we finish? So we had Washington ranked 5th last year at this time. They did not qualify. We had Des Moines Christian at 11. They finished 4th. Central DeWitt, non-ranked, finished 5th.
Who did those last year?
You. Clear Lake, we had at 9, non-qualifier. This was a rough class for us. Williamsburg, we had at 10, non-qualifier.
Jeez.
Decorah, we had 13. They finished 6th. And Assumption, non-qualifier, where we didn't have them ranked, and they finished 9th. So a rough class for us in 3A boys.
Fire me.
Yeah.
Who let me do this class?
It's tough. All right, let's go to 2A boys. And this one, holy cow. I'm going out on a limb here on a few of these, so bear with me. Let's go to last year first. This was our best class. We had Denver winning, but other than that, every one of our preseason picks was within 1 to 4 spots.
Okay.
So very solid. Denver had a good year.
Mhm.
We just didn't have them winning it, but we were right on most of them. So let's get it started with the team to watch. How about this? A team we have, I don't know how much we've ever talked about this team. West Liberty. Are they over there by like Iowa City Liberty?
Yeah, I think so.
It's got to be like a growing
I
community
think
or
it's
something.
like that Casey's gas station. Or not Casey. I don't know. Yeah, there's a Casey's there.
Yeah.
There's
So like
Casey's
Clear
everywhere,
Creek,
but-
Amana, Solon, West Liberty, kind of all in the same ballpark. Well, I think they're going to have a pretty good squad, Kyle. They'll return 6 of 7. Yes.
They might be 3A. They were 5 kids from 3A this year. But
And they're probably growing.
I think you're probably right. But yes. Sorry.
Well, there'll be a threat in 3A to maybe make the state meet. Returning 6 of 7, including 11th place finisher, a sophomore, Carlos Meraz, West Liberty. Number 10, Anamosa, non-qualifier this year. We had them ranked last year towards the bottom, but they've got Jackson Burrell. Remember Nolan Weirs
Mhm.
was in the mix for our Fab freshman a year ago. Didn't quite have the year I think he was hoping for. This is an Anamosa squad that's going to return a ton next year. So watch out for them on that side of the state in eastern Iowa. I think Iowa City Regina also will be a player in 2A. But let's go to number 9, Okoboji. Okoboji, they're going to return some runners from this past year's state meet. Kind of a surprising finish for them, in my opinion. Van Meter had a good finish to the year. They're at 8. PCM, 7. So those 9, 8, and 7, they all return about 3 or 4 guys. So we'll see what they can do. At number 6, we've got Shenandoah. another school we have not talked a lot about on the podcast for 7 or 8 years. Shenandoah, non-qualifier last year. They had an outstanding freshman, Mason Sells from Shenandoah, state qualifier, but they're going to return not just all 7 runners, their top 10 are all back at Shenandoah. Plus, they're going to bring in a top 10 middle school state finisher. And I did not write his name down, but he was in the top 10. How about the depth building in Southwest Iowa for Shenandoah? Watch out for them. You know their mascot? They're dark red, like maroonish. I'm gonna go Indians. I don't know.
Sorry. Never mind. No, I do not know. I know they have a alum. Jeff Davis was a really good runner for them back in the 90s, early 2000s, but I do not know the mascot.
I don't either. But I know where they're at. Top 5, here we go. Forest City, just like their girls, we got them at 5. They'll return 2 to 5. No Silas Gann, so they'll have to find a low stick to go for Forest City. At 4, Pella Christian. Numbers 1 through 4 and 6 and 7 are coming back for the Eagles. I think this could be a really good season for Pella Christian. They just lose Sawyer Minders out of this year's team. At number 3, Red Oak. This is your team.
Southwest Iowa's getting some.
You like this Red Oak squad?
Is Emmanuel Grass back?
Emmanuel Grass returns for Red Oak. Let me verify that. I believe he does at 2A boys. Shenandoah is the Mustangs.
Okay.
All right.
Would not have got that.
Emmanuel Grass will return for Red Oak, 6th place in 2025. They're going to have numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5 coming back. They do not have a lot of depth, so they got to get someone to drop some significant time. At number 2, watch out for Spirit Lake. Jace Hungerford and 5 others will join him next year. This is a program with a lot of depth. They made it to the state meet this year. I like the Spirit Lake. I even had them down at number 1 to start. And then I go, Sheraton's returning 3 all-staters. Now, Coach Horton has got to get it going in the backside there. They got to drop almost a minute at their 6 and 7. Now, they're young. They were freshmen, sophomore, got some race experience at Fort Dodge. Can you have 3 in the top 10, but still be in the hundreds for the other 2, or 80-ish to the other 2 and still win? We'll find out next year.
What number do they lose again? 4.
They lose. They got 1, 2, and 3 back. Brent Crabb and Titan Reed both are gone. 4 and 5.
Okay.
Now they're 6 and 7 last year, Kyle. They scored 79 and 85. So if you just slide those over, they don't win. But I'm going to put my faith in some program development, and I'm going to go with Sheraton at 1.
Okay. Good research on that.
What do you think? You like Sheraton at 1?
That's hard. We saw it with was it Lake Mills boys?
It's real similar to Lake Mills boys.
Man, Mattered girls.
No offense to this field here, I don't see someone that just jumps out that okay, they're going to take the reins.
Yeah, maybe one of those top 4, Spirit Lake, Red Oak, Pella Christian. But
to be determined.
Right. The good thing is there is no lock.
Yep, no lock. Not even close to a lock.
No.
All right, we're ready for the spinner.
Back to the wheel.
What do we got?
1A, it's me.
1A time.
girls.
Okay, let me give you your stats from last year. As you get ready. 1A girls, we had Madrid locked up. They finished 6th. Trainer, we had ranked 2 in 1A, and they won in 2A. So that's good. We had English Valley at 3. They finished 10th. This was a head scratcher. We had Ridgeview at 4.
They were 2A though, right?
Non-qualifier.
I thought they were 2A.
I don't think so. Cascade, we had at 5. They were a non-qualifier. We had Hudson and Sumner Fred in the top 10. They went up to 2A. And Martinsdale, we had at 14. They finished 6th. So Not bad. This is a tough class.
This is.
So
and,
good luck.
I probably spent hours looking at teams to see, okay, who had maybe multiple individual qualifiers that have them return, who
Yep.
had a good qualifier that maybe only had 4 girls and they only need one more, and look through middle school results. And obviously not everyone runs the middle school state meet. So you look at the
Conference
WAMAC,
meets,
the
yeah.
UIC, like just tons of different conference results, and tried to do our best on this. Let's see. Can you see? Oh, team to watch, Panorama. So that's a good one. They missed Kylie Rockholtz at the end of the year, so they return her along with only losing their number 3 and being the 4th at a qualifier. So I gotta believe Panorama is gonna have a good shot at the top 10. I'll throw Starmont in there as well as a sleeper team. Number 10, we got Sibley Ocheyedan. They were 13th from this state meet and bring in Paisley Krikus next year. Number 9, Linville Sully. They were 15th this year and bring in Katie Arkema, 1329 from the middle school state meet. Madrid at 8. So obviously they had a very, very good top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think they lose one of those girls from that top 3.
Horse.
So it will be difficult.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you're talking about with Sheraton, Lake Mills, like who can step up? Can they find somebody, from the junior high results? I could find some 15, 16-minute girls, but I still got to think Madrid's going to be in the mix. Van Buren coming in at number 7. They finished 7th this year again. Number 6, a non-qualifier, 3rd at their qualifier.
Mac Valley.
14 back from qualifying. Mac Valley, they do lose their 2, and their 6 was pretty far back. So they got to replace her. They got to fill that number 2 gap. I think they do with Quinn Burbridge. She was 3rd at the middle school state meet, and I think that'll help get Mac Valley to the state meet. Number 5, after 11th place finish this year, is Tri Center. Number 4, Southwind. They do lose that 2 and 3. Now, they talked about their pack running, and I think that mentality is going to be good enough to get them back to the state meet and even keep them in that podium conversation. Number 3, Hudson, 3rd this year. I think they get 3rd again next year with losing their 1, 3, and 6. 2 solid 8th graders in Sydney Bennikin and Avery Rose, and some pretty good depth coming in.
And they could go back to 2A.
True.
Close to a growing area there, just south of Cedar Falls.
Correct. Number 2, English Valleys, after an 8th place finish. This team's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking
in the
for them to
future.
make the jump here.
Next year they'll be solid, but I think this English Valleys team is going to be good for a long time. They got a good 7th grade squad coming up. And then number 1, Sumner Fred, after a runner-up finish this year, they only lose their number 6. They don't bring a lot in, but I think, again, with what a lot of these other schools lose and them being able to bring back, especially 1 through 5, they'll be just fine this year. They're in 2026. Again, a school that could move to 2A. I don't think so. I have a feeling they're more in the trending down direction. But you never know with some of these class sizes. Some schools could have crazy big class sizes 1 grade, and it could get smaller the next. But Sumner Fred is my preseason number 1.
Do you know Mac Valley's mascot?
Mac Valley Warriors.
They are the Wildcats.
Wildcats. Why did I think?
Yep. And the English Valley Bears.
I would not have got that one.
All right, we're spinning. I'm going to miss the spinner in the off season.
4A to you.
4A boys. All righty. Team to watch, Sioux City North. Kuma Gutema and 6 of 7 are coming back. So him and 5 others, 6 and 7. I knew we'd get some sort of that joke. Should have warned about that. There's a lot of 6 of 7s on this episode.
I'm surprised you didn't get more, but
yeah. So Sioux City North, the North Stars, is the team to watch. Prairie at 10. Cedar Rapids Prairie. At number 9, you've got Dubuque Hempstead. Had a really good showing at Nike regionals today in the open division. I don't know if you saw that. At number 8, Norwalk. They're going to lose number 1 and 2, but very young. They had the Little Hawkeye Conference 8th grade team champions, so I think they'll reload with some depth. Norwalk at 8. At number 7, Dowling Catholic. 6, Iowa City Liberty. 6 of 7 are back, led by Keegan Decker. This will be a good Bolts team. I'm excited to see where that season can take them. At number 5, we go inside the top 5. Iowa City, City High, David Randall, Leaf Eastland. 3 of their 7 return. Now, this program is loaded with depth. They won the 9-10 and the JV divisions, I believe, at the MVC Super Meet. So this team has a ton of depth. And then they'll bring in a incoming freshman, Clayton Terrell, who was the runner-up at the 8th grade middle school meet. I think City High have his chance to be pretty good. DCG at number 4. They're going to return Megason, Ibeline, and Current. And they also have a very good JV program. And then Toby Droppert, the coach's kid from the girls coaching staff, Little Hawkeye Conference 8th grade champion, will join Coach Priest's DCG team at number 4. At number 3, Cedar Falls. We'll see Dominic Williams again, Jeremy Gall, Porter Myers, and, of course, the depth of the typical depth of the Cedar Falls program. At number 2, it is Johnston, 5th this year in 4A. They'll return Jack Crossland, who he'll be in the mix for a top 3 finish, and 5 of their 7 are back for this team. Miles Berkman is an incoming runner to watch out for. And then number 1, Kyle, this is just a weird class here. I didn't know who to put for number 1. And PV came into the state meet ranked 3 and finished last. Not the day for the Spartans. I think they learned a lot. They were young, and they're going to return 6 of 7. And they're led by Jonah Whitson for PV. You could put 6 of these teams at number 1, probably all the way down to Liberty. I went with PV just because I think of all these teams, they probably had the best cumulative season this year, and they have the most back. But we'll see what happens.
And what does Dowling return again?
Not much.
Yeah.
Not much.
No, and this is exciting because I don't know if we've had this in Class 4A for a while.
No.
For a long time,
Yeah.
it's always been Dowling. This year, you know, we kind of thought it was Cedar Falls, Indianola, if I remember right.
Yep.
So it's awesome to see this balance in Class 4A. That makes for the best state meet.
Last year, Indianola, we had it 7. They won it. Johnston, we had 12. They finished 5th. Centennial, we had them at 14, and they got the 3rd place trophy. But overall, we did pretty good in 4A on the boys' side, minus that Centennial. We missed on that. But like we said going into the meet, like anywhere between 3 and 12 or 13 could have finished 3rd. So it's one of those where it wasn't, I don't think, I mean, anything could have happened. I mean, PV went in 3rd and got 15th. So the parity is real in 4A boys.
Love it.
All right. We have, what do we have? 3 left?
2 to me, 1 to you.
I'll take mine now and be done.
Yeah, you might get it.
And I will. All right. 4A girls. Let's go back to last year. Okay. Centennial last year we had at 11. They finished 5th. DCG we had 9. They finished 4th. Ankeny we had at 10. They were a non-qualifier. Ames, we had them not ranked, and they finished 11th. So pretty good all around in 4A. Our champion pick was Johnston. They finished 3rd. All right, let's go to the rankings at team to watch. Dowling Catholic. Number 10, Waukee. They're going to bring in a couple of really nice 8th grade runners. And they lose quite a bit from their 8th place team this year, but I think those 8th graders will replace those exiting seniors. At number 9, Norwalk, their top 4, led by Hannah Schmitz, will come back next year for the Warriors. At 8, it is the Little Cyclones of Ames. Top 4 return for Ames. 7 is City High. 2 of their top 7 are back. At 6, West Des Moines Valley. All right. This is my sleeper of all sleepers.
All right.
I think this team could, depending on now, the top is very good next year. But you're going to want to keep your eye out for West Des Moines Valley in cross country and track and field for the next several years, starting this year.
Tell
But-
us why.
They got a loaded 8th and 9th grade class. Loaded. Sprinters, distance runners, hurdlers, everything. But their middle school team, Kyle, I think they might have been better than Northwest's middle school team that we said last year at this time was the best middle school team we've ever seen. This team destroyed the CIML all season. And they join a Valley team that has 5 back from a 12th place team. So you're going to see Jocelyn Perigo, Emma Y, or We, and Lily Udy, those, and Penelope Lohan, all 4 of those girls in the top 10 at the state middle school meet.
Jeez.
For West Des Moines Valley, watch out for the Tigers in cross country and track and field moving forward. At number 5, Dallas Center Grimes. We'll see. Messerly, is it Heidgerkin? You say it different.
Heidegger.
Heidegern?
Heideggerkin,
Heideggerkin.
I
Man,
think.
2 way different
I'm
sayings.
trying to remember how Piper said it last week.
Okay, so they're going to be back. They'll also have their number 3 back, but they do lose quite a bit off the back end for DCG. At 4, Cedar Falls. All 7 girls back for Cedar Falls, led by Charlie Gall. With her and Messerly, I got to think, and Sundit, all of them are going to be in the mix here for individual accolades as we go into the year for 4A. They also, Kyle, will add a 4th place middle school top finisher in Reese Dahlstrom. So how about that depth for Cedar Falls? And they're not even in the top
And
3.
we were high on them last year.
Yep.
As a podium contending team. Maybe we're just a year ahead.
Yep. At number 3, Centennial. Blevins, Flick, and Cogdale. A really good top 3. 1 senior in their top 7 this year from a 5th place team. I think Coach Cogdale's got himself a really good team coming back in Ankeny. At number 2 is Pleasant Valley. Their top 3 will be back. Runner-up this past season, Millage, Foad, and McCombs. They're going to add the middle school state champion in Gianna McCombs.
Okay.
So their top 3 are back. They're going to add a middle school state champ. She ran 11:31 on that course for Pleasant Valley. These 3 teams are really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe we don't have Johnston I don't have Johnston in the top 10, but they lost a ton. So we'll see. But I'm going to guess they'll be in the top 10.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
They have a lot of depth for sure.
They do.
but-
At number 1 is the defending champs, Waukee Northwest. They're going to return all 7 runners, plus we would think Emmy Danny would be back next year, and she was an all-stater in 2023. Vanderlei, Opfer, they're 4 and 5 to go along with those top 3 girls that were all in the top 18. This could be a really, really good Northwest team.
I want to lock, but I won't do it.
You can't.
I won't.
I mean, you can't lock it. You
No.
need
Because
with that talent that PV's got
Correct.
on paper,
correct.
and
And Centennial.
yeah, I mean, and you never know what can happen.
Correct. I will not do it.
You're not going to do it. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have had Johnson, but Kyle, they lost a lot, so we'll see.
Right. And you have to go off, what you see or what you know. Like you can't just say just because Johnston's won X state titles the last X years, they're always good. You can't just automatically assume they'll be top 10, but it's a safe bet for sure. 3A girls.
3A girls.
Oh,
now
spinning
it's
again.
Respin.
Still 3A girls. Okay.
Okay, it was
Good.
a
I
50-50 chance.
Didn't want to switch. It was already up. All right. We'll start sleeper team. 5th at their qualifier this year. 15 points out. Don't lose anybody. Bringing in Emma Nice.
I'm telling you, this team here, watch out for him.
12:26 for 3rd at the middle school state meet. Epworth of Western Dubuque.
Once Quentin's gone, they got more time to pour into other resources. But they were pretty good this year, weren't they?
Yeah, they were 5th at their qualifier. Solid, yep. 10th, Harlan, after a 9th place finish this year. Let's see. They don't lose anybody. 9th winner set. They were 5th this year. They do lose 3, 5, and 6. And you know, we all talked about it all year. Big drop. They do bring in Ava Minnick, who is the Raccoon River Conference champ, and Tenley Smith, who were 7th at the Raccoon River. So I think they'll be just fine to get back to the state meet. Boone, we know the very unfortunate circumstances they had at the end of the year. Just you know, had they all been healthy, there's no doubt they would have been to the state meet. They would have been just fine. Still managed to get 4th at their qualifier. Everyone returns. This is a team that's going to be
You
top
got any
10 at
middle
the state
schoolers
meet.
coming in for Boone?
I don't nothing to I would say
Crack the top
to
7.
crack for sure. Nothing to crack their top 5 to my knowledge. 7 CPU. We were definitely slept on this team this year. We will not do that next year. After an 8th place finish, they only lose their number 6. They got 3 sub 14 girls coming in. They were all top 10 in the WAMAC. I might even be a little low on that team. 6 Mount Vernon Lisbon. They lose 2, 5, and 6. Also bringing in 2 girls that run right around 14 flat. Number 5 Solon. They do not lose anybody. This team will be good for a long time. They got a good 7th grade class coming. 4th Williamsburg. They also don't lose anybody. And
That's
bring
my
in
team.
This
I felt like I really gave them a nudge this year, midway through the year after you left their meet.
They're gonna need that nudge next year because the top 3 in this class are very solid.
I'm not saying they're gonna win. We're just seeing that nice steady climb to the top.
You're 100% right, and their site finished pretty well at the state meet. But they bring in Harper Weingard, who was individually the junior high champ, and they were the team runner-ups. 3rd Sioux Center after a 4th place finish this year.
Be good.
They do lose their number 3, but they're going to have 2 on the deck again. So I think they'll be just fine to be in the mix for a podium spot with Williamsburg, Solon, Mount Vernon, CPU. Number 2, Des Moines Christian, runner-ups this year. They don't lose anybody. They don't bring a ton in that I could find. Again, a good 7th grade team. But just when you have the juggernaut like Pella, you know, DMC would likely be a favorite if you didn't have such a team. Pella loses their 1 and 7, but we know how deep they are. When obviously Farabee is a big loss, but you know, they'll be just fine replacing her with JV depth. They also have some solid junior high girls coming in. I guarantee you I'm going to pronounce one of these names wrong, if not both. Jonah Vandevort and Maiken Kalman. That is a absolute guess, probably 100% wrong.
Rob Hammond's in the chat, so maybe we can.
I don't know. Phonetics might not even help me. But Pella's going to return. Again, everybody but 1 and 7. I think I'm not locking them up because Des Moines Christian is on the rise.
Yep.
But Pella is definitely a favorite for 2026.
Not that I've never had to be sold by Pella, but what impressed me maybe most of anything this year with Pella, other than they were really good the last few weeks, that meet you went to, I believe, in Williamsburg, where they rested Farabee and Brenneman and went up against MVL, who at the time was number 2, right? Is it 1 versus 2?
They might have been 3 then.
It was a
Christian
heck of a matchup, and they won without both of them. So that tells me they're clearly the favorite. I would not lock them up, though.
Correct.
All right.
I guess we have to spin.
Brock's ready to go. Can we get a respin?
No.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go to 1A boys.
1A boys. What's the sleeper up there?
I can't read.
English Valleys?
English Valleys. All right.
All right. 5th at their qualifier, returning everybody and a solid 8th grade group from the junior high state championship team. Look out for this team in the future, beyond 2026.
What town is English Valleys in? I'm going to look that up while you continue.
Couldn't tell you. Number 10, Sioux Central, 11th this year.
They're in North English.
Oh, okay. So just south of Iowa City,
Yeah,
right?
North English, Iowa.
Sioux Central, they lose their 2, 6, and 7 and bring in Van Sanguin, 1340.
Mhm.
Number 9, Woodbine, a non-qualifier this year, about 26 points
You
from
like
qualifying.
this Woodbine team?
I do, and I think I might even be low on them at 9. Everyone returns, including their low stick with Aiden Summerfield, and then they bring in Caleb Cox, who runs 12:30. South Win state finish was 9th this year. Don't lose anybody. They return the defending state champ. They
Oh,
also
wow.
bring in Jamison Shizzle, 12:36. Look for South Win. Again, this might be a team that I'm not high enough on. 7, Springville, losing number 1, 5, and 7. How about Jack Kelms, 11-18 at the junior high state meet. Nottoway Valley, they were last at state this year, 16th. Don't lose anybody. This team is just, I think it's a historically pretty good 1A
Oh, yeah.
program.
Very good.
I think they're just going to climb their way up from 16th
Coach
to
Burmeister,
6th.
not there anymore, but remember he was rattling off state titles. Seemed like every year. Just a real quick pause. It is Me Chin Cowman of Pella Middle School,
Got the last name right.
and Joanna Vandevort.
All right. So I got 3 or 4 names.
Thank you,
right.
Rob.
Awesome. Oh, I don't know if you did stats from your paper stats
Oh,
for.
yeah, I will. I'll finish with that.
Okay. I don't know if you did them for the last class either, for 3A girls.
3A girls, let me tell you, we about knocked it out of the park last year. That's
We'll pause before we go to top 5.
that is credit to you. We almost hit the top 5 perfect. We just needed to flip Sioux Center and Mount Vernon Lisbon. The only one we missed on, which kind of ended up being, I was surprised to everyone, Decorah.
Yep.
8. We had them at. They didn't make it. Fort Madison, another one. 10. They didn't make it. And Boone. So, I mean, I think we did great on 3A girls. We didn't have CPU ranked, though, Kyle.
No. Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't have Gilbert ranked.
Gilbert
last year.
girls?
Yeah. And they finished 10th.
Jeez, what was I doing?
All right. Okay, we're ready for your
Back
top
5. Linville Sully, 10th this year. It's a team that's going to be set up well for the future. Some
Mhm.
good 7th graders. 4, Ankeny Christian. They got to reload. They definitely lose 1, 3, and 6. Losing Alex Davis is going to hurt after a 3rd place finish this year as a team. But they were the junior high runner-ups with several studs, I would say, coming in. When you got 3 guys that can run under 13 in Class 1A, you'll be okay for the future. Number 3, Riverside. They were 1st this year. They lose the Hendersons. Now, they were 1st and 4th on their team with the state meet.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone I would say they're 1 and 2. But that's good sign that they're, 3 and 4
guys picked it up.
are going to be right there. They bring in Harrison Roan and Everett Scheineiger. I have no idea. 12:59 and 12:47. I apologize on the names there. But I think Riverside's going to be in the mix for the podium. 2, Columbus Community. 6th place finish. Do not lose anybody. And then Earlham. They were 4th this year. They do lose their number 3 and number 7. Just a very, very good team. Also, another team with some good 7th graders coming in the future. But I really think this definitely no locks in this class. I view this class as the 1A girls this year, where there was 8 teams that we thought could have won it. I feel safe in saying that I think there's 8 or 9 teams in this class that legit could win this thing come November. There's so much to be seen with this class. Again, you have to spend so much time looking at, incomplete teams in this class to find some, just different sleeper teams, which, I'll go deep sleeper team. Starmont on this one too. Starmont boys and girls. Look for them to potentially double qualify.
You know what I forgot to mention? And we didn't mention it last week. How about the state meet Forest City boys had? I was just
No
looking
one
at
on
the
the deck,
results.
right? And they got 2nd.
Got 2nd. And I wasn't negative on them. I just kind of, after Lake Mills just dominated them
Mm-hmm.
at the conference meet. couple weeks before that. I was like, can they really get on the deck in 2A? And they get second.
Yep.
Heck of performance for Coach Wolfram's team.
Southwind-esque.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so your stats for 1A boys last year, and then we'll wrap this show up for season number 7. Nearly nailed the top 4. You just had to flip-flop Lake Mills and Riverside. Springville, you had at 15. They finished 5. And Louisa Muscatine was the only one. They were not ranked, and they finished 7th. So, pretty good. We did it.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. So, all right. Wow. Can't believe we made it to the finish line. As we said to start the show, we're really thankful for everyone who tuned in this fall to the Exchange Zone and made the show hopefully a weekly routine and something that everyone had a chance to look forward to. We tried to improve from year to year. Hopefully, we were more of a presence on social media. That was our number one goal coming in. I think we accomplished that, and we can continue to get better in that area. But really thankful for everyone that tuned in this year, and it was a good year.
Yes, it was. Thank you for all your work, the graphics and setting all this up.
Yeah, you got to make all those for track.
Oh, man. I don't know if I have that skill. But no, seriously, awesome job. Promoting this sport is just grown tremendously the last few years. Again, please come to the IATC meeting on Sunday. I look forward to seeing all of you. You can, no more keyboard warriors. You can tell us anything bad to our faces, and we will accept anything you throw at us. But just thank you, and thank you for bearing with me this year. Obviously, birth of the child, not great timing, coaching or podcast wise, but I am ready for. Well, I'm not going to get sleep, but maybe get a few more hours of sleep instead of looking at cross country results. And thank you to my own team. I'm sure it's not easy, being on this podcast and talking about my own team. And I think they handle that part of it well. So
it is hard.
Yeah. Even you don't coach Northwest, but it's still hard to.
Well, you see him every day. So
right. Yeah. I hear every day when I get to practice about what I said on Sunday night. So
hey, Levi Benish.
Yep.
In the chat says, any chance Twilight Meet could be in the future for Iowa High School cross country, potentially in Ames? I am a big fan of a Twilight Meet. The problem is this. If it's on a Saturday, which probably going to have to be, because it can't more than likely be on Friday. Because I've looked into this as the IATC. Could we do something like that? You run into homecoming dances, band festivals on a Saturday night in the fall. It's just hard.
And to like a facility that would have the lighting. Now, Ottumwa does have the awesome meet that does it already, but Musco Lighting has to bring all those lights in.
Yeah.
Difficult to do, but I think it,
David's R&R, they're a friend of the program. They're tied in with the Sheraton crew, I think, because they were just having a blast last week in here, but he's got some comments in there as well. But anyways, yeah, it'll be nice to get back to the routine of normal life after this show. But we will be back not next fall, but in the spring, and we'll come out with the schedule, a 6 or 7, probably 6 episode season, as Kyle said.
You had to do that.
It'll start right around the state indoor meet, which the IATC state indoor meet will probably have something either before that meet. Probably will need to be before, Kyle, because everyone goes on spring break after. Yep. So we'll figure it out. But we'll post the schedule. To find that, subscribe, follow us on our social medias, and follow along this winter at the IATC. Oh, yeah. You got to make sure and check you're subscribed to our accounts, too. We're supposed to announce that. So if you're not, give us a subscribe, and that helps us continue to grow the podcast. So with that, signing off for one final time in 2025. We'll be back in the spring of 2026 for track and field on the Exchange Zone. Have a great week. Good luck to the winter sports that kick off tomorrow. And good luck to those football players in the Dome this week. Have a great rest of your year.